Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Let's learn nursing with Jemmy. Today we are going to learn about the cardiovascular system, which is the vital organ in the human body. So before I would start, I would request all the nursing students and staff to learn basics thoroughly, which is going to help in a long run in this field. This is the content which I am going to discuss with PPT. Introduction. The heart is a key organ of the cardiovascular system, the body's transport system for blood, a muscle that contracts rhythmically and autonomously. It works in conjunction with an extensive network of blood vessels running throughout the body. Basically, the heart is a pump ensuring the continuous circulation of blood in the body. So, this is how the heart looks like. It contracts rhythmically and autonomously. It has got a lot of blood vessels that are running throughout the body. It is a pump that ensures that there is a circulation of blood in the body. So let's move ahead. Location, size and weight. The heart weighs around 280 grams to 350 grams. So that's the weight of the heart. It is roughly the size of an adult's clenched fist. If I clench my fist, that would be the size of my heart. It is enclosed in the mediastinal cavity of thorax between the lungs and extends downward on the left between the second and the fifth intercostal spaces. Okay, so uh, it is located in the mediastinal cavity that you have to keep in mind, and it is somewhere between the second and the fifth intercostal spaces. Let's move to layers of the heart walls. There are three layers of heart wall. First one is epicardium, second one is myocardium, third one is endocardium. Talking about epicardium, epicardium is the outer layer of the wall of the heart and is formed by the visceral layer of the serous pericardium. So, whenever epicardium comes to the mind, you should be thinking that it is the outer layer of the heart wall. Second, it is visceral layer of the serous pericardium. Epicardium is made up of connective tissue as well as adipose tissue. Let's move to the myocardium. Myocardium is the muscular middle layer of the wall of the heart and has got excitable tissue and the conducting system. So myocardium is the middle layer, then it has got a thickest layer, it helps in contraction, and it has something called as cardiomyocytes, the cells that make up the heart muscles. Moving to the endocardium. Endocardium is the innermost layer of the heart. It is formed of endothelium and subendothelial connective tissue. It has got two layers. Inner layer is connected to the heart chambers, whereas the second layer is it is continuous with the connective tissue of the myocardium. It is made up of endothelial cells as well as subendothelial connective tissue. Let's move to the chambers of the heart. There are four chambers of heart. First is right atrium. You can tell RA. Second is right ventricle. You can tell it as RV. Then is left atrium. You can call it as LA. Then comes the left ventricle. You can call it as LV. Talking about the right atrium. This is where the right atrium is located. The right upper chamber of the heart. So the main work what right atrium does is it receives the deoxygenated blood. It receives the deoxygenated blood from the superior vena cava and from the inferior vena cava, and it pumps it into the right ventricle. This is the right ventricle. From here, from the right ventricle, it sends to the lungs to get oxygenated. Okay, so what right atrium does is it receives deoxygenated bloods, transfers the blood directly to the right ventricle so that right ventricle can send into the lungs and the blood gets purified and comes back. Okay, now talking about the right ventricle. Right ventricle, the most anterior of the four chambers, it receives deoxygenated blood from the right atrium and pumps it into the pulmonary circulation. So the blood is transferred via pulmonary artery to the lungs, where it goes, gets purified and comes back. Now let's move on to the left atrium. This is where the left atrium is located on the left side. It receives oxygenated blood. So my ventricles have sent blood to the pulmonary artery, from pulmonary artery to the lungs. So now that blood has to come back. So when it comes back, it comes via pulmonary veins. It comes via pulmonary veins. So my blood will be in the left atrium. It receives oxygenated blood from the lungs via the left and the right pulmonary veins. This is something called as left and right pulmonary veins. So from here the blood comes into the left atrium from the lungs, remember that. Then from the lungs it reaches left atrium. Now from left atrium it goes to the left ventricle. It pumps blood throughout the body via the aorta. Now this blood directly goes to the aorta and the entire body gets oxygenated blood. So these are the chambers of the heart. There are four chambers of the heart. First one is right atrium, second one is right ventricle, then comes the left atrium, then comes the left ventricle. This is something called as circulation of blood through heart. So this is how my heart looks like. This is how my heart looks like. Now this is right atrium, this is right ventricle, this is left atrium, this is left ventricle. This is something called as superior vena cava. This is called something as inferior vena cava. There is some valve that is present, that is called as tricuspid valve. The valve which is connected to the pulmonary artery is called as pulmonary valve. The valve that is connected to the aorta is called as aortic valve, and the valve that is between the left atrium and the left ventricle is called as mitral valve. So there are four valves that are present in a heart. This is aorta. Okay. So now let's move. So first what happens? The blood comes from the superior and the inferior vena cava. It directly drains into the right atrium. So now whatever blood is there, the deoxygenated blood, it goes directly into the right ventricle. So there is something called a tricuspid valve, which moves the blood from right atrium to the right ventricle. Now, the right ventricle has a deoxygenated blood. So it sends uh, via the pulmonary arteries, which goes to the lungs. Then it gets purified and gets oxygenated. Then the blood enters via the pulmonary veins. This is something called as pulmonary veins. So from there, the oxygenated blood comes and falls into the left atrium. From left atrium, the oxygenated blood has to go to left ventricle. So from there, it goes to the left ventricle, and from the left ventricle, it directly goes to the aorta. Okay. So this is how the body gets blood. So whatever here I have put as blue means that the blood is deoxygenated, whereas the red one shown is oxygenated blood. Let's move ahead. Walls of the heart. The heart consists of four chambers, that is two arteria and two ventricles. There is a wall through which blood passes before leaving each chamber of the heart. Okay, the walls present prevent the backward flow of blood. The valves prevent the backflow of blood. This is what the valves are useful for. These valves are actual flaps that are located on each end of the two ventricles. So between two ventricles there are valves. Okay. So now talking about tricuspid valve. Tricuspid valve is located between the right atrium. This is right atrium. This is right ventricle. It is located between right atrium and the right ventricle. Now, let's move to the mitral valve. Mitral valve is something located between the left atrium and the left ventricle. Easy to remember. Right has tricuspid valve, whereas left has mitral valve. Talking about pulmonary valve. So from right atrium to right ventricle, the blood comes and it has to go somewhere. It goes to the pulmonary. It has to go via pulmonary artery. So there is something called as pulmonary valve. Pulmonary valve located between the right ventricle and the right pulmonary artery. Okay. Moving to the aortic valve, this is located between the left ventricle and the aorta. So whatever blood comes into left atrium goes to left ventricle, then from left ventricle it has to go to aorta. These are the valves of the heart. It helps prevents the backflow of blood. So that's why the valves are being created. Functioning of the heart valves. As the heart muscle contracts and relaxes, the valves open and shut, letting blood flow into the ventricles and atria at the alternate times. So this is a illustration how it has been done. When the heart contracts and relaxes, what happens? The valves will open and shut in an alternate times. Step 1. When the left ventricle relaxes, just imagine once there is blood that goes from left atrium to the left ventricle. When the left ventricle relaxes, the aortic valve closes and the mitral valves open. So just remember the image. This is the aortic valve and the mitral valve. Okay. So the aortic valve will close. The aortic valve will close. Left atrium to left ventricle it will fall. The aortic valve will be closed, whereas the mitral valve will be open. So that entire blood passes from the left atrium to the left ventricle. Step 2. The left atrium contracts. This lets more blood to flow into the left ventricle. When there is a contraction, the entire blood that is present in the left atrium will directly fall into the left ventricle. Now moving to the step 3. When the left ventricle contracts, the mitral valve closes. When the entire blood from the left atrium is over and entire thing has come down to left ventricle, now what happens is the mitral valve will close and the aortic valve opens. So this valve, what you see, mitral valve will close, whereas the aortic valve will open, so that the blood flows into the aorta and out to the rest of the body. This is how the heart valves function. Both valves that are connected will not open at the same time and will not shut at the same time. They will work in alternate times. If one valve opens, the other one will shut. This is how it works. Now moving to the blood supply of the heart. The heart receives its own supply of blood from the coronary arteries. Two major coronary arteries branch off from the aorta near the point where the aorta and the left ventricles meet. These arteries and their branches supply all parts of the heart muscles with blood. So heart has its own supply of blood from the coronary arteries. So coronary arteries are divided into two. They have left coronary artery and one is right coronary artery. From left coronary artery, again it is divided into circumflex artery and the left anterior descending artery. Likewise, right coronary artery also is also divided into two. right marginal artery, and the posterior descending artery. Talking about the left coronary artery. So the circumflex artery, what it does is it supplies blood to the left atrium and the left ventricle, side and back. Whereas left anterior descending artery will supply the front and the bottom of the left ventricle and in front of the septum. So just remember, left coronary artery will supply blood only to the left atrium and the left ventricle. Moving to the right coronary arteries. Right coronary arteries has right marginal artery and posterior descending artery. So one thing is that it works in with the branches of circumflex artery. The posterior one works with the circumflex artery, whereas the right marginal artery supplies blood to the right atrium and the right ventricle, bottom portion, bottom portion of both ventricles and back of the septum. Whereas the posterior, it runs across the surface of the heart's underside, supplying the bottom position of the left ventricle and back of septum. Like I told you, the left one only supplies blood to the left part, but right has a good nature. So right coronary artery, posterior descending artery, it supplies, it runs across the surface of heart's underside, supplying the bottom portion of the left ventricle and back of the septum. So it has a good nature. It gives a little blood to the left to the left side, left ventricle and back of the septum. I hope you understood the blood supply of heart. So it is divided into there is a supply of blood from the coronary arteries, which are again divided into two: left coronary artery and right coronary artery. Left coronary artery entirely supplies blood to the left part, left atrium, left ventricle, bottom, front, in front, and side and back. Whereas the right coronary artery supplies to the right atrium and right ventricle, with along with it supplies the bottom portion of the left ventricle and back of the septum. So this is a diagram showing the right coronary arteries and the left coronary arteries. Nerve supply of the heart. Talking about the nerve supply, the main control system is there in the medulla oblongata. There is something called as upper part and lower part. The upper part of the medulla oblongata is called as cardiovasculatory center, whereas lower part is called as cardioinhibitory center. So they both have got different names according to the part that they are located with. There is something called a sympathetic nervous system. The nerve supply sympathetic nervous system, which helps in increasing the heart rate, whereas parasym- parasympathetic system works in reverse order to slow heart rate down. The sympathetic fibers arising from the superior, middle, and inferior cervical ganglia, but originating in the medulla oblongata, and the parasympathetic fibers which originate in the medulla oblongata and pass down by way of the vagus nerve, join in the cardiac plexus. From here, they enter the heart. So this may be little confusing. Just remember, the main control of the heart resides with the medulla oblongata. There is an area called cardiovascular center or pressure center in the upper part of the medulla oblongata, and in the lower part it is called as cardioinhibitory center or depressor center. The nervous supply to the heart is autonomic, consisting of both sympathetic and parasympathetic parts. The sympathetic fibers arise from the pressure center, where the parasympathetic fibers arise in the depressor center. Only thing you have to remember is sympathetic system helps in increasing the heart rate, whereas parasympathetic helps in decreasing or slowing down the heart rate. Moving on to the lymphatic drainage of the heart. The lymphatic vessels drain mainly into two. First one is brachiocephalic nodules in front of the brachiocephalic veins, and second one is tracheobronchial nodules located at the distal end of the trachea. So lymphatic drainage is very essential to maintain the equilibrium and to drain out the excess fluid. So where this leaks is brachiocephalic nodules and the tracheobronchial nodules. Talking about the functions of the heart. Main function is pumping oxygenated blood to other parts of the body, pumping hormones and other vital substances to different parts of the body. Mainly, it receives the deoxygenated blood and carrying metabolic waste products from the body, pumping it to the lungs for oxygenation, and it helps in maintaining the blood pressure. These are the functions of the heart. Now, there is something called as pulmonary systemic circulation. Pulmonary circulation is a portion of circulation responsible for carrying deoxygenated blood. Pulmonary will only carry deoxygenated blood away from the heart to the lungs and then bring oxygenated blood back to the heart. Whereas systemic circulation is another portion of circulation. Systemic circulation, I have put a red color stating because it is carrying oxygenated blood that is pumped from the heart to every organ. Now, the heart itself is a muscle and therefore it needs a constant supply of oxygenated blood. This is where another type of circulation comes into play, the coronary circulation. Coronary circulation is an essential portion of circulation where oxygenated blood is supplied to the heart. This is important as the heart is responsible for supplying blood throughout the body. Heart also needs some amount of blood. So this is where coronary circulation comes into place. Moreover, organs like brain needs a steady flow of fresh oxygenated blood to ensure functionality. So there is something called as coronary circulation also. Pulmonary circulation is carrying deoxygenated blood. Pulmonary. Systemic is carrying oxygenated blood, which is being supplied to other parts of the body. Coronary circulation is portion of circulation where oxygenated blood is supplied to the heart. This is important as the heart is responsible for supplying blood throughout the body. This is the diagram of pulmonary circulation and systemic circulation. In pulmonary circulation, deoxygenated blood is pumped by the right ventricle into the pulmonary artery. Then it goes to the lungs. Exchange of gases happens in the lungs. From the lungs, the oxygenated blood is carried by the pulmonary vein to the left atrium. In systemic circulation, the blood is pumped by the left ventricle through aorta to other parts of the body. Exchange of gases happens in the cell. The deoxygenated blood is brought back to the right atrium by the vena cava. So I hope I could explain about the cardiovascular system. This is what is important and you need to know. If you liked my video, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.